Life's a ride, so let's make it count. Cherish every moment, that's what it's about. Tune in together, we're building our groove. Every beat, every laugh, we're ready to move. A little laughter, some love, we're soaring high. Every single episode reaching for the sky. News on the airwaves, spreading good vibes. Friends together, watch how our spirits rise. Kick back, unwind, leave the troubles behind. This podcast is gold, a treasure you'll find. With every word, we'll light up your day. Join the conversation, let's laugh all the way. A little laughter, some love, we're soaring high. Every single episode reaching for the sky. News on the airwaves, spreading good vibes. Friends together, watch how our spirits rise. Kick back, unwind, leave your troubles behind. This podcast is gold, a treasure you'll find.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the cafe. Hey, how are y'all? Good to see you this morning. It is a Friday. So all you hard workers can hopefully take a break from this work week and start to enjoy your weekend. I don't know what's going on with my screen. It looks weird. There we go. Okay. It is great to be back with you guys today. Hope you all had a great night. Thank you for those of you that joined us last night. As always, you are so very much appreciated. Come on in and grab a seat. Get yourselves comfortable. It's great to be back with you guys. Mama Bear moved to Antarctica, so she won't be joining us today. They got a great deal on an igloo, and said she couldn't pass it up, so she's gone. There y'all. You're stuck with me once again. Just me. And only me. I guess when she gets her Arctic internet set up, maybe she'll be able to join us from there, but it's going to be a while because it's a hell of a trip to get there. So wish her well. Safe travels, all of that. Hopefully. Who else do we have in here this morning? SRBBBBBBBBBBB. Good morning. Lady Bob. Hello. I love that name. Miss Josie's in the house. Hello and good morning, Miss Josie. T2014. Welcome back to you. Let's see. Need some Z's. Welcome back. Good to see ya. Great to have you here. Mark Schumann. Super Goat Gazer. Welcome back to you. Captain Jenks, always a pleasure to see you. Let's see here. Miss Denise, welcome back to you. Josie West, great to have you here. Rowena, great to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Kissy, ×3, welcome. New face, new name. I love it. Miss Christina, welcome back. Good to see you today. Brady B, that OG in the house. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Can you hear me? I hope you heard me, Brady. Good to see you. Elizabeth Wagoner. Guys, make sure to subscribe to Mama Bear's channel. She's changed it. It's Mysterious Minds now, guys. Amazing stuff. As always, we love Mama Bear. Please make sure you subscribe to that channel. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button. And don't forget, because if you haven't done it yet, what are you doing with your life? Come on now. Elizabeth Wagoner, great to see you today. As always. Ray Knightley, welcome back to you. Let's see here. Nothing half-assed. Great to see you today. It is awesome to have you here. It feels like fall outside, y'all. It's like, she's right. It's like October. It's crazy. Yes, we have a pool here. It's that time, but it's still too cold to get in it. Let me see. Make sure I hit everybody else. Make sure I got everybody, I should say. Miss Tracy's in the house, too. Welcome back, Miss Tracy. Great to see you. Mountain Mama, what's going on? Lucy Morningstar, good morning star to you. Miss Daniela Kiriako, welcome back. Great to see you as well. Moonlit Baby's in the house. Great to have you here. Rhode Island housewife, great to see ya. We were supposed to start at 11, I think. In Stitches in the house. Good to see you. And Eddie, welcome back, buddy. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining us as always. We just started. It was scheduled for 11. I started a little bit early. Okay, I started. I figured you'd probably fall asleep. It was late last night. A little bit late. Past your bedtime. You're going to make her feel bad. What are you talking about? Oh, I'm just kidding. She knows that. Yes, I'm kidding, guys. I just trying to be funny. That's all. She shouldn't. She won't feel bad. She knows I'm joking, and I love her to death. She's been busy, guys. Busy. She's almost not going to be busy here pretty soon. She's got her kids are in homeschooling, which is a new thing for them, and it's been a struggle a little bit. Everything new, you know how that is. But that's almost done. So we'll be seeing her more often here soon. But I like to make jokes from time to time. So I haven't seen her yet this morning, truly. I don't know. She might have appointments. She's had a lot of appointments too. So with the kids. So that could be another. That between that and the homeschooling stuff. Yes, Mama Bear. Welcome, Aurora. That's why we haven't seen her so much. But the schooling thing's going to slow down. She said the appointments are going to slow down. So we'll see her back here soon. And you guys won't have to deal with my ugly mug for too much longer by itself. Welcome, everybody. Great to see you today. And yes, Heather, I was kidding about the igloo. Heather, really? I love you, Heather. I love you. You're a trip. Let's see here. Yes, I know. We do. We love her to death. It would be nice to see her back. Captain Jenks, good to see you, bro. And by the way, do not forget, you guys, the last 24, Mikey. We ain't seen him a lot in here lately. He's been super busy with his work and putting this stuff together. Has his premiere tonight, his first show ever. I would love and I hope to see everybody there tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the last 24. There's the link right there. Thank you for that, SRB. We need to go over and support this guy. He's been busting his hump to make this happen. Mikey's the reason why we started. We're going to be doing the trivia stuff. That came from him. He'll be doing that over there as well. And I'm trying to put something together with him to do a Saturday Night Live type thing in here where we can just hook up and hang out and try to make you guys laugh. We'll see how that works out. But that's something new coming down the road too. We'll see what happens. Mikey's a great part of this team and part of this family, and we love him to death. So we got to support him in any way we can. So take that link. If you have not yet subscribed, please do it. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss anything he puts out. And be there or be square. Please and thank you. Moonlit. Will Brenda be joining us? I wonder. I felt bad for her because I like opposite theories, but you can't enter a room and start. Yes, I know. I highly doubt it, Moonlit. It was definitely an interesting part of the show. So thank you so much, Moonlit. I appreciate that. We are looking into the morning show is always about a variable of different things. Okay. It basically things going on in the world and the news. And then my second show usually has a solitary focus, which will be the second half of the second show. Today will be part 2 of what we did yesterday, just to finish it up, or try to finish it up. So today we're bouncing around through a few different things. Of course, we're going to be, thank you, Moonlight. We're going to be looking into the updates with Jack and Lily Sullivan out of Nova Scotia, still missing. Different things that are in the news going on, guys, and we will catch up with that stuff. That way we can keep up with what's going on in our world and kick the day off the right way with all you awesome peeps. Thank you to my blue crew for joining us today. As always, y'all know I couldn't do it without you. And thank you guys for hitting that like button when you come through that door, sharing this out and letting everybody know that we're hanging out in here today. I appreciate that so very much. Mama D's in the house. Good morning. And thank you to all my meatballs for jumping in the sauce with us, guys. We have gained so many new members over the past few days. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm grateful to see all these meatballs hanging out in the sauce with us while we spill this sauce. It's awesome. T2014, good to see you. Last night, but did you see they took trail cams from approximately 5 kilometers? Yes, I did, T. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Peaky's in the house. Good to see you, Peaky. Welcome all the meatballs. There's so much green in here now, guys. I can't see anything but green, it looks like. We got a few white people still in here. White names, I should say, not white people. Wow, that sounded great. You know what I mean? Most everybody's green, so that's awesome. It's great to see that. Come on in. Grab a seat. Grab a cup of Joe or whatever you would like to drink. Josie, that sounded great, didn't it? All you white people, yeah, awesome. You know, white names is what I meant because, you know, if you're not green, you're white. Your name is. Good Lord. Anyway, you guys know what I meant. Crazy. Grab a seat, guys. 42 peeps in the house, 35 likes. Let's see if we can make that match, guys, and get this in that algorithm for me, if you will. All these white fonts in the house. There you go, Josie. That's the way to say it correctly. Politically correct. YouTube. Matt Lowe, what's happening, bro? Miss Sherry's in the house. Welcome back, Miss Sherry. Great to see you. Ray Knightley. Yes, members. Do you remember those members? Thank you, Mama D. Appreciate that very much. I appreciate all of you guys that joined us last night. And I got to thank Sergeant Eddie, of course, for joining me last night. Jesse wasn't feeling too well, I guess, last night, so he wasn't able to join us, but that's okay. Everybody needs a break. Agreed. I really hope we hear some answers soon, Jack and Lily's case. I hope it doesn't turn in. I'm right there with you, Moonlit. I am petrified that may happen. Good to hear, Aurora. Thank you. You got no melatonin on my name. There you go, Matt. Let's see here. Come on down. Grab a seat. $44 peeps, 36 likes. We're getting there. Let's see. Oh. Speaking of, I got to check one more thing while we're here. Kaboom. All right, let's see. Where's it at? By the way, Miss Sassy Cassie's been working in the merch shop, putting some new stuff in there, guys. If you're interested in having a piece of the True Crime Cafe or Dago merchandise, there is a link for that. Go check it out. There's some pretty cool stuff in there. You won't be disappointed, I don't think. I like it. She's done a great job with adding some new stuff in there recently, and she'll be doing more. She's working on different designs and stuff to put some things together. We're working on putting together a moderator t-shirt, some other stuff. Miss Cass is pretty talented, so you'll see. Good trouble. Good morning. Good to see you. It's all good. In Stitches, great to see you again. Thank you for joining us. Yes, you're real. Your alt. Your other personality got a membership yesterday. Very true. Very true. I think it was Moto Man that dropped it for you, Lucy. Excuse me. And Cassie came to me last night with some new ideas she was wanting to put together. She's got one she's going to be working on. It's really cool sounding. I can't wait to get a hold of that one. She's got some great ideas, though, and very talented. So I'm super excited for that. There's the link right there. Thank you, SRBB. BBBB. Yeah, I think Moto Man gifted that one too. He gifted like 30 of them yesterday. We also had another one of the other community members donate. RT Traveler donated 10, I believe, too. So, like I said, we got a bunch yesterday. And then a couple days before that, we had a bunch too. Like, it's growing fast, folks. And the channel is growing for sure. Many new people, and I'm grateful to see you all. I hope you guys stick around. Very much appreciated. Yes, Moto Man grifted that one. He grifted it. SRB gifted it. I know what you meant. The buzz, 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 buzz. Nope. That is true, Miss Sherry. That is very true. Again, there's a link for that if you guys want to check that out. Let's see. Yes, she is. She is the bomb. All of y'all are the bombs. Thank you guys all so much for being part of this community. We appreciate you very much. Every day, supporting the channel the way you do. And all of us, yes. That's okay, SRB. I get it. All right. Let's get this kicked off here. Let's see what was dropped here in the background for me. Care of the Mama Bear. Even though she's not here, she's still always doing something, guys. That's why we love her. She's so awesome. I guess I'll start with this one. This was brought up. 1 second here. We'll go here. So I pulled up the RCMP website today. There's nothing as in the last bit of information they dropped was 10 days ago, the 13th. So I still firmly believe that they're working on stuff, but we do have some other info that came out via these other channels that I've been following that are putting things out about this. So I'm going to share those with you if you haven't seen them. This one was interesting. This was brought up in the chat here a little bit ago. So we're going to share this and a couple others we have. I have an update coming too, which there's not much of it, but from a case, I try to keep everybody informed on things that we cover. If anybody remembers the Mom DeCoffabot case where her husband killed her in the bedroom and then, crazy dude that he was. So we have a little bit of an update on that. There's not much there. Very sad situation, but I'll be giving you an update on that and just things going on around what we cover. Today, guys, we're going to be jumping into, I've been throwing some cold cases out every day. Today, we're moving to Indiana. We're going to cover a couple cold cases out of Indiana. We did Ohio, Michigan, Indiana. So, and then the typical stuff we do on our show. So that's what we're doing. Sounds good. So let's check this out here real quick. And thanks again, all of you, for being here. We love you guys.
I strongly believe that foul play is involved in the disappearance of siblings, Jack and Lily Sullivan. It's been too long, and if they wandered into the woods, how far could the two young children really get? There would have been more evidence. Police continue to stand by their decision to not put out an Amber Alert because there are no signs of an abduction. The more information that comes out, the more I believe they are looking for evidence and believe that foul play is involved. I feel that they are looking for proof of life on the Wednesday and Thursday, the days before the children vanished, because who says they didn't vanish much earlier than when they were reported missing? Yesterday, I brought some information about someone reporting the police showing up at their workplace to look for camera footage, after finding information in the banking records of the parents. Today, the neighbor speaks out and shares that police visited her as well. Melissa Scott said she was visited on May 20th by two officers from the RCMP's Major Crime Unit, who inquired if she had any trail cameras set up on her 16-hectare property in Glengarry Station, roughly 5 kilometers east of the children's home. Melissa told police she has 7 trail cameras in total on her property. One points down her driveway, another is positioned near the house, and the rest are scattered throughout the woods. It takes about an hour to walk between them. She said she told investigators that she was so happy to see them, and to see that they are canvassing a little further, and looking at trail cam footage. Melissa said she was given a USB drive to load her trail camera footage onto. She was initially asked to give them her footage from May 1st to May 3rd, but they later expanded their request to include April 27th to May 3rd. She said she handed over hours of footage on Thursday afternoon. Melissa said she posted in a private community Facebook group asking her neighbors if they, too, had been visited by the RCMP. She said 2 other people responded that they had also been approached for footage. Other neighbors also confirmed to media that they had been approached for footage. Melissa checked the trail cameras, but didn't notice anything out of the ordinary.
I don't know. That's a good question, SRB. I was wondering that myself, if this was the neighbor that spoke out initially about the party that they had. It's a good question. I would like to know that. Welcome, Miss Jennifer Meineke. Good to see you. I believe so, Moonlit. Welcome. If you're just now coming in, welcome. And anybody that's out there not in chat, just kind of watching, I do appreciate. Thank you, T2014. Appreciate you guys being here as well.
Ordinary. She says maybe the police will see something that she didn't notice.
All right, so there's that update there. Give me 1 minute here. I got a couple little things here. Let's see here. Show. Give me 1 second. All right.
It's impossible. Why do you want
Let me see. All right, that's actually what I was pulling up, SRB, but damn, you are good. Thank you. I'm telling you guys, she's the bomb. They all are. I have the best team on YouTube, period. No 2 ways about it. No 2 ways about it. Let me see here. Where did you say it was? Hold on, let me see. It's the news clip. Oh, that one. Yeah, I do have that one. Yeah, there's another one. Hold on. That's the one, but there was another one that dropped too. There was 2 of them, and I can't find the second one. Hang on here. Where did it go? Where did it go now? Let's see. I have an update also from our Miss Jenna in regards to the Crystal McCrory Jones situation, her sister's case. We covered a while back. There's an update on that as well. I'm excited for her. She's finally getting a little bit of justice and getting the help she deserves. So we're going to look at that update too. So once I get through this one, I can't seem to find it. This is weird. Hang on. It was in there a little bit ago. I just covered that one. The trail cam footage. Now, what the hell? Give me a second here. Ah. Never fails, as always. To the rescue. To the rescue. SRB saves the day once again. Thank you, dear. Oh, shoot. What did I just do here? There we go. Yes, you did. Thank you very much, as always. You are appreciated. I told you guys I couldn't do this without them. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either, but they put a lot of it out. and he's been putting everything out on this on a regular basis. So, but I agree with you. All right, guys, let's check this one out here. This was via CBC, and I kind of trust this more than any of the other ones. So, all right, let's see what we got here. I think this is actually the interview with the neighbor.
Melissa Scott's trail cameras might contain clues about the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan. RCMP asked her for days of footage as the investigation into the missing children approaches the 3-week mark.
It's scary, especially not knowing what happens. We definitely keep our kids a little closer to home now.
The 4- and 6-year-olds were reported missing from this home on May 2nd, launching a massive search of the woods surrounding the home. No trace has been found, and RCMP haven't ruled out the case is suspicious. This is some of the footage Scott gave police. She says RCMP major crimes officers came to her home this week, asking for everything on her 7 cameras, starting April 27th, 5 days before the kids were reported missing. 2 of Scott's neighbors were also asked to provide footage to RCMP. She says the officers also asked about her family's vehicle.
That's very interesting to me. 5 days before they went missing. That tells me they're definitely in what I would call a criminal investigation at this point. They're looking back. That's good. They're on top of this the way they should be. That's good to hear.
To rule out local traffic in the footage.
Possibly they are wondering if they didn't go missing earlier, or maybe some.
Yes, Daniela, I agree. And they are amazing. They are amazing. Like I said, I have no doubt I have the best team and the best community. That includes you guys and on YouTube, period. People will argue. They'll say they do. I will disagree. This is the best community and the best team you could have. And I absolutely love every one of you guys and everything that you guys do. So thank you all for being part of this community. And thank you to my team. Wouldn't be here without them.
Somebody who isn't local to the area was around beforehand.
This road is the most direct path from Scott's property to the home the kids went missing from. We drove between the 2 places. It's about an 18-minute drive down rough dirt roads. Straight through the woods, it's about 5 kilometers.
I did mention to them that I was very happy to see them and glad that they were canvassing a little further and looking at trail cam footage. And they did respond saying that they probably should have been around earlier.
RCMP would not answer CBC's questions, including why they are seeking trail camera footage from before the disappearance and why they are identifying local vehicles. Nicola Sagan, CBC News, Glengarry Station, Nova Scotia.
My heart is broke over these kids, guys. It truly is. I just don't understand this. I can't stand seeing when this happens. So, let's see. There, like I said, there really isn't a lot. Update real quick on well, I'll give it to you this way here, guys. Give me 1 second. Yesterday, you guys remember the plane crash that happened, San Diego. It's a bit of an update on that situation. Very crazy and scary situation as well. But yeah, there's really not much else as far as the Nova Scotia kids. That's it, really. I'm looking around as we're watching this stuff, trying to see if there's anything else new, but I don't know, Aurora. You know, I'm telling you guys, I am comfortable in telling you that I feel like, and it's mainly because of the way the dogs followed the scent and then stopped dead in the driveway. I feel like those kids were taken out of there in a vehicle in some form or fashion. I don't know exactly how and what the circumstance was behind it, but I feel like that's what happened. I do. And I'm almost, in my mind at least, positive with that. That's how I feel. So I hope that, I'm not even going to say it would be a miracle, in my opinion, to find them safe and sound, but that would be amazing. But at this point, it's obvious something bad happened. And I felt that way from the beginning on this one. Like I said before, with Sebastian's case, my gut told me like he's okay, he's somewhere, but he's okay. This one, I never felt that way. I felt dark with this one immediately, and my stomach was nauseated from the very beginning on this. It was crazy. So I don't know. I do not believe that they wandered out of the house. I don't believe that they went into the woods. I don't think any of that. So, and I hope we get an answer on this one soon. I really do. But like I said, this here is an update on the plane crash in San Diego yesterday that we talked about. I believe they're saying that there maybe 6 people presumed to be deceased at this point. It was a very sad, scary situation. So either Ellie is focused on parents or checking for strange. Yeah. I think somebody said that there was a car that was seen, some form of a blue vehicle that was a little bit suspicious. I don't know. I don't take stuff like that unless it comes from the RCMP as fact. So, oh, right. SRB. Right. All right. Let's see what we got.
There, lifting wreckage and working to secure both black boxes from the scene of yesterday's jet crash.
Yeah, our Gigi Graciette spoke to families who fled the flames, and she joins us live now in studio. Gigi.
And Jen and Roxy, it was such a chaotic scene that most people, as they were running from this fire, didn't even know what caused it. And in other news today, the music industry is in mourning after learning that a beloved talent agent, a dad, and an avid pilot, along with a musician, are among the 6 people killed when that private jet crashed right into a military housing neighborhood. It was just before 4 o'clock yesterday morning when the fog over San Diego was thick, and that Cessna was making its final approach into the Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport when it crashed 2.2 miles before the airport, right into that military housing neighborhood on Sample Street in Salmon. The crash starting multiple fires, leaving many trapped inside their homes, some using trampolines to get over the walls of their backyard. This as active duty members of the military rushed to help. And in one case, it is a little girl. She's only 5 years old, a little doll. She's being credited with waking her parents up to tell them that her neighborhood was on fire.
We were just kind of jumping into action. This is our community. These are our neighbors. Where the plane initially hit, I knew that gentleman. His name's Ben. We ran that way and noticed that a couple of our other neighbors were starting to get in the backyards over the fences. We ended up pulling 2 kids out to help Ben and his dogs and got them out too.
And Gilbert Gonzalez also being credited with rescuing his neighbors. And officials say that it was thanks to so many active military members in the Tierra Santa neighborhood that people like Gonzalez, who helped families rush get to safety, that there wasn't more fatalities. Now you're looking there at Dave Shapiro. It was later learned that the music agent and avid pilot who owned the Cessna was among the 6 aboard who were killed instantly. And in addition to Shapiro, we have learned that the former drummer of the band The Devil Wears Prada, Daniel Williams, was also aboard. Band posting a tribute to him on Instagram saying, "No words, we owe you everything, love you forever." Williams had also shared several pictures, you're seeing one there, on social media of the Cessna and inside the cockpit before taking off to San Diego, noting that he was with Shapiro, who was an experienced pilot and even owned his own flight school. And it was thanks to those social media posts that Williams' family says, especially his dad says, they knew he was aboard that ill-fated flight. The other 4 victims aboard the Cessna have not yet been publicly identified. As for those in the neighborhood, 8 people were injured, 1 home was destroyed, and at least 15 others damaged. Again, San Diego Fire Department's assistant chief says it's a miracle that there were no fatalities on the ground. Jen?
And it is, Gigi, when you think about how many homes were damaged and the jet fuel just torching all the cars along the street. Also, that it happened just before 4 o'clock in the morning when most people were probably home asleep.
Everybody told us they had been asleep. And again, they didn't know. They heard an explosion and they saw flames and they knew they had to get out. There are so many heroic stories. These active military members, they rescued their families and then rushed right back into that fire to help their neighbors get to safety. It's truly amazing how a community came together and saved so many lives.
Yeah, there's programs to do it. Military neighborhood, you know. Thank you, Gigi.
Wow, that's sad. I know who Dave Shapiro is and the drummer from Devil Wears Prada. I know who they both are, and that's very sad. Everybody on that plane, that's a horrible loss. That's absolutely horrible. I think there was something else here too. 1 second here. This comes from what happened. It was actually put through here. Hold on here. This is a scary situation. Very sad. Very sad. And prayers to anybody affected by this. This is just insane. Hang on, guys.
SoCal Citation Triple.
Hold on. Let me do this just to be just because you never know.
Trigger warning. This video includes sensitive and violent content that may not be suitable for all viewers. This video is for 18 plus only. Trigger warning. This video includes sensitive and violent.
All right, guys, just in case. It might upset some people. We don't know, but I just want to be sure you're covered.
6 Delta Sierra with you, descending through 17,000 for 1.
Just in case you guys can't hear it clearly. Sorry about the echo.
2,000.
Station 666 Delta Sierra SoCal approach. The Montgomery ASOS is out of service. Which approach would you like?
Yeah, 6 Delta Sierra, yeah, we noticed that. Take the RNAV 28, please.
6 Delta Sierra, clear direct and SD, descend pilot discretion, maintain 9,000.
Okay, 6 Delta Sierra, direct and SD, descending for 9,000.
Oh, it's so creepy. Very sad. I'd like to know.
Yeah, 6 Delta Sierra, just wanted to know if you really had any idea on the weather. I got the Gillespie weather, but as I'm sure you know, sometimes it can be dramatically different between Gillespie and Montgomery.
6 Delta Sierra, let me see what I can find out for you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, according to Gillespie, it's pretty much down to minimum, so I just want to see what I'm in for here.
Okay, no problem.
Appreciate it.
And number 6 Delta Sierra, I've got the Miramar automated weather for 0955 Zulu with wind calm, visibility 1/2, and indefinite ceiling 200.
6 Delta Sierra, alright. That doesn't sound great, but we'll give it a go.
6 Delta Sierra, rising, descend, and maintain 5,500.
Alright, descending for 5,500, 6 Delta Sierra. Delta Sierra, just in case we have to go miss. How's Brown looking? Is that pretty similar?
Let me take a look.
Thanks.
6 Delta Sierra, affirmative, a little bit better, but not much. Showing standby.
Okay.
Okay, they're showing 1031 Zulu weather, wind calm, visibility 2 1/2, mist, ceiling 300, broken, Kirkland 300 overcast.
Okay, 6 Delta Sierra, a little better, but higher minimum, so probably not a great option either. So I'll come back to you with an alternate just in case.
6 Delta Sierra, roger. And 6 Delta Sierra SoCal, you can make descent okay from there? You want me to turn you out to the south?
6 Delta Sierra, no, I think we'll be alright.
6 Delta Sierra, roger, 5 miles from Nesty, cross at or above 3800, cleared on Aver runway 2, red approach.
Alright, at or above 3800 for cleared RNAV 28, right approach, Montgomery.
November 6 Delta Sierra, report traffic cancellation after landing via the phone. Do you have the number?
6 Delta Sierra, yeah, I've got the number.
6 Delta Sierra, roger that, and frequency change approved.
6 Delta Sierra, thanks. We'll hopefully not see you, but we might have to.
Okay.
Montgomery traffic citation, 666 Delta Sierra, 3 miles final 28.
All right, guys, it's a bit creepy. And it shows, hold on here. One moment. I think this is all we got on the rest on this for now. Moving on. Yeah, hey Taylor. I don't know, Lucy. It's a scary situation either way you look at it. So very sad, very sad. Good morning, Miss Jody. One of our awesome teachers joining us today. It's great to see you, Miss Jody. That's scary as hell, Cap. Very scary. Wonderful to see you, Miss Jody. I hope you're having a great day. Now, the death toll they're saying is up to 6 at this point, very sadly, and I don't know. WB, welcome. Good to see you. And yes, Taylor, this happened yesterday, 3-something in the morning. Come on, let's get to the point where they, hold on here.
Morning, everyone. Crews arrived on scene just after 3:47, about 3:55 this morning. What they found was behind you, the scene that you see behind me right now. We had a plane that had come through this neighborhood, taken out one home. We had one home on fire, multiple cars on fire going down the street. We initiated what's called an Alert 5, which is an upgraded for a plane off the runway. We started the Alert 5, followed that with a second alarm to ensure we had all the units here. It's 3:45 in the morning. Our worry was the fact that people are home, people are living in their houses, and we want to ensure that we had all that done.
A lot of damage, you guys. Let me see.
All right, so we had 8 injured and we had 2 fatalities is where we're currently at right now. So 8 injured, 2 fatalities. One of those injuries was transported. That's our current numbers. We're still assessing. The home was occupied at the time, yes.
How many people were in there?
No, I don't. This morning, when I came in this morning at...
Okay, so they told us, Cap, it came out of the Midwest. They never gave us an exact spot where it took off from, heading to San Diego. That's all I know on that so far. Great to see you, WB. And Miss Cassie's in the house. Good to see you. Let's see. Okay.
About 4 o'clock, there was very dense fog as we came in. And some of the individuals are here were the same time. It was dense fog throughout the whole plateau that we had up here. We do have a clipped power line behind us. NTSB and FAA are looking into that to see if that was part of the problem as it came in. They will have a better understanding of that as
late 3:30, 4
in the morning.
Yeah. And I woke up to a loud explosion. My wife was screaming. And she's like, there's a fire. I was trying to comprehend what happened. I thought maybe a gas leak or something happened. And then I woke up and I could feel the heat all around me. And then my wife, she was like, we need to get the kids. We need to get the kids. I remember getting up and I put on clothes and I walked to the hall towards the front of my house. And all I could see was fire and the roof of the house was torn off.
You could see the night sky from our living room.
That's insane. I can't imagine waking up to that, you guys. That is crazy. Is there more of them? Hold on.
Our youngest kid and I grabbed the other child, and we couldn't get out the front of our house. And
the back, so we went outside to go out the back door, but then unfortunately.
Yeah, Cass, that's what I was saying. Dave Shapiro, he's a music producer, executive, and the drummer from Devil Wears Prada, which is I know who he is too. He's an amazing drummer, great band. Danny Williams. Oh yeah, you just put it in. There it is. Anyway, so yeah, both horrible losses. Everybody on the plane, like I said, that passed, it's a horrible loss. I just was shocked to see that. Absolutely shocked to see that. Dagburn, Johnny Gobble's dead. Floozy Mama's in the chat. Good to see you, dear. Thank you for joining us. But very sad, you guys. Very sad. Yes, Dave. I said it. Yes, sir. She's not listening to me today, guys. She's too busy doing the awesome things she does in here. Yeah, Dave Shapiro and Danny Williams from Devil Wears Prada. Just that's gonna suck. That's gonna suck really bad. They're a great band, and you won't be able to replace him. They can't. I gotta, you can't replace a human life, period. But it's just horrible. Yeah, I bet they're doing some kind of a memoriam to him, I believe. I know you do. You're crazy with it. You're amazing, though. You're good to go. SRB's awesome in here, guys. She's amazing. All of these mods are amazing. That is a fact. I was going to say that to you, Mama D. It's a miracle that nobody else. And thank God. It's just horrible for the lives that were lost. It's absolutely horrible. I'd really like to understand. I mean, even I've never flown a plane. I can't imagine how hard it is. But with like fog and stuff like that, it's got to be insanely difficult. They were so close to landing. It's just sad to me. It's very sad.
The side gate leads towards the front, and I could see the debris was on fire right there, so we can't even open it to get out. Luckily, we had some neighbors come by, and I started yelling for help. They came by on the other side of the fence, and we were trying to wake up our other neighbor too, and we got the kids over the fence, and then
Yeah, we just showed all that too, Cass. You're like replaying everything that we just talked about, but he did. He showed the cockpit of the plane like they showed. Everything was going good. It's absolutely insane, you guys. And Shapiro, who was a experienced pilot, he even owned his own training, like flight training school. This is crazy. You're okay, Cass. Don't worry about it, hon. It's just crazy. I don't understand. It's so sad to see these things happen. And we have so many of these that are happening. Over the past 6 months, you know how many plane and helicopter crashes we have shown on here? It's nuts. It's absolutely just nuts.
I jumped over the fence. They brought a ladder, and the dogs, we got them both there, and then he eventually got off on the other side. But it's been a huge community blessing here that everyone was there at such an early hour, and just very responsive, very quick to help. And I think it's a great show of resilience.
You better be nice to your mother, Kathy. Be nice. Now, this is the presser we saw yesterday on this, so I'm going to go past this here. Hang on. Let me see if there's anything new besides that. No, okay. The whole thing is sad to me. It's beyond sad. And anybody that's gone through this, God bless. Absolutely. Here, 1 second here. Just to give you guys a little bit of an insight into some of the loss.
Fire, boom, explosion. It was just fire, big flames everywhere.
Tonight, a tragic scene in San Diego where a plane crashed in the middle of a neighborhood, leaving several people dead. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. A music talent agency says 3 of its employees died in that crash this morning. Investigators have confirmed 2 deaths so far, but they say there were 6 people on board that private.
Oh, would you stop with your apologies? You know better than that. You do what you do. Thank you for being here, Alicia. We appreciate you. You do so much as it is, so don't worry about ever apologizing. You know that. And I'm always going to take your mom's side, Cassie. You know that. I love you both, but I have to take her side. It's just how it works. She's a mom. So am I. I'm a dad. I'm not a mom, but we're the older ones. I have to take her side. That's how it works.
Private jet that went down. The Cessna 550 went down early this morning in a neighborhood of military-owned housing in San Diego. Several neighbors were injured trying to escape the flames and the smoke. KTVU's Crystal Bailey has been following the latest developments in this investigation. She joins us now live from the KTVU newsroom with more on what we're learning. Crystal?
Alex, as you mentioned, there were those 6 people that are reportedly on that plane, according to the FAA. Now, at this time, what we learned that the latest information is that TMZ is telling us that there is now family reporting 1 person identified as Daniel Williams. That's the former drummer of the rock band, The Devil Wears Prada. And the second person has been identified as Dave Shapiro. 2 people now identified tonight as victims of that plane crash.
A trail of fire left in the street Thursday morning after a small plane missed the runway in San Diego.
As we're driving, we're literally hearing all the booms from the explosions.
The AP reports music agency Sound Talent Group names co-founder Dave Shapiro, seen here on Instagram, as one of the people who died on the plane, along with 2 other unnamed employees. Authorities say the Cessna 550 registered to Shapiro, left New Jersey, stopped in Kansas, and planned to land in San Diego. Instead, just before 4 in the morning, it crashed into a street in the Murphy Canyon neighborhood just east of the Montgomery.
Okay, well, there you go. Sorry, geez. Cap, I think she just said they left out of Jersey, stopped in Kansas, and we're heading to San Diego. So, and they're probably going to do something involving the music side of that. So very sad. And yeah, it does. It looks like a war zone, you guys. It's crazy.
Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport, where it was headed.
We had 1 home on fire, multiple cars on fire going down the street.
First responders were forced to evacuate homes.
The military families did a phenomenal job as firefighters were getting on scene.
And my wife saw that cars were on fire, and we got evacuated from there.
As far as the lives lost.
Stop your temper tantrum. Get in here and sit down, Cass. You know we love you. Quit it.
The Sound Talent Group shared this statement with the AP. We are devastated by the loss of our co-founder, colleagues, and friends. Our hearts go out to their families and to everyone impacted by today's tragedy. The alternative music community flooding social media with posts of condolences, many musicians saying they owe their careers to Shapiro, who owned music label Velocity. It's unclear what led to the crash, but authorities say there was very dense fog at the time and a clipped power line at the scene.
And the FAA and the NTSB are investigating the crash. The FAA is expected to release a preliminary report in the next 24 hours, which could give some more indication about what caused the crash. And
that's it as far as that's concerned. They go into some other stuff about Jennifer Aniston's stalker and stuff like that. Just to give you guys a lot of you guys might not be interested in this, but hold on a minute here. Hold on. It's going to give you a real quick. In memory of them. Velocity Records is a very high-profile record company, come a long way. So this is just a quick glimpse of the band and where the drummer that passed came from. So that's who they are. And yes, rest in peace, Danny Williams, Dave Shapiro. It's a very sad loss. And everybody else that was on that plane. It's very horrible. I hate saying this. Just any version of anything like this is just horrifying. And God bless their families. It's just so sad. So sad. 15 homes destroyed. Well, I guess you could say not destroyed completely, but definitely caused some damage to it. And there was one other person from Velocity Records that was on the plane. I think it was Dave's assistant that passed as well. Oh, man. Bad situation. So, all right, on we go. Moving forward. Give me one moment here. Hold on. Yeah, the fuel is was the biggest issue per se. One moment here, guys. Okay, so we do have one more. 1 second here. I've been following along with Miss Michelle. She did put something out about Jack and Lily as well. I've been trying to keep up with her stuff too. So I will run that for you guys as well. 1 minute. Here we are. Okay, this is about Jack and Lily Sullivan as well.
Miss Michelle, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Friday morning, the 23rd of May. So in this video, I'm continuing the coverage about the case of missing 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, who were reported missing around 10 a.m.-ish on the 2nd of May from their home in Lansdowne Station, Pictou County, Nova Scotia, Canada. Now, a bunch of people sent me this link to a CBC article, and there's a news piece. And this is a neighbour who has been asked for trail cam footage. Now, to me, she doesn't really, to me, fit the definition of a neighbour because she's like 3 miles away. But I guess if you live in a very sparsely populated area, 3 miles is considered a neighbour. I'm going to talk through what this could potentially mean for the investigation. There's clearly some new tactics here. It's kind of worrying. So, let's go.
Melissa Scott's trail cameras might contain clues about the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan. RCMP asked her for days of footage as the investigation into the missing children approaches the 3-week mark.
It's scary, especially not knowing what happens. We definitely keep our kids a little closer to home now.
The 4- and 6-year-olds were reported missing from this home on May 2nd, launching a massive search of the woods surrounding the home. No trace has been found, and RCMP haven't ruled out the case is suspicious. This is some of the footage Scott gave police. She says RCMP major crimes officers came to her home this week, asking for everything on her 7 cameras, starting April 27th, 5 days before the kids were reported missing. 2 of Scott's neighbors were also asked to provide footage to RCMP. She says the officers also asked about her family's vehicles to rule out local traffic in the footage.
Possibly they are wondering if they didn't go missing earlier, or maybe somebody who isn't local to the area was around beforehand.
This road is the most direct path from Scott's property to the home the kids went missing from. We drove between the 2 places. It's about an 18-minute drive down rough dirt roads. Straight through the woods, it's about 5 kilometers.
I did mention to them that I was very happy to see them and glad that they were canvassing a little further and looking at trail cam footage. And they did respond saying that they probably should have been around earlier.
RCMP would not answer CBC's questions, including why they are seeking trail camera footage from before the disappearance and why they are identifying local vehicles.
Welcome,
Nicholas
Greg.
Ann, CBC News, Glengarry Station, Nova Scotia.
There's a couple of really concerning things in there. Most importantly, just how far out they're going. I'll show you the map in a minute just to give you a context and why they might be using that as a new outer limit.
Brandy, if you're in here, dear, Hope Floats is trying to get back into the Discord. So if she sends you an email, try to help her out to get back in there. She said it was asking for the link. So thank you, dear.
But there's a little bit more information in the article than was put in the news piece. And RCMP, they are not giving an inch, are they? They're not giving an inch of their investigation away. And at this stage, with this new change of tactic, honestly, I don't blame them. But this will have increased speculation no end. This is worrying. So we know that they did an extensive 6-day search through 5.5 square kilometres of mostly dense woods. 5.5 square kilometres equates to 3.4 square miles, which is this inner circle here.
That's a good point, Cass, but I still feel that's another reason why I feel like those kids leapt in a vehicle out of that driveway. That's truly where I'm at with this problem, or at this point. Sorry. Welcome, Greg. Again, good to see you. I have seen stuff on that, Greg. I have. And Tomboy, welcome. Good to see you this morning, dear.
Yeah. So we've now got this donut shape on the map with the center point being here. This is their home, and this is a mile radius. The search maps that were shown at the May 7th press conference leaned more to the west, kind of like an egg shape rather than a pure circle. But Glengarry Station is all the ways out here. So this is a 3-mile radius, and she has quite a large property. If they're doing a 3-mile radius, then yeah, they should have done this way earlier. So they only went to her on the 20th of May. They should have done this way earlier. But it shows that there is this change of tactic. And I think there's potentially a reason why they've chosen this as an outer perimeter. If indeed they have chosen this as the outer perimeter, that's just my assumption. They may have gone further out. But there's a reason why 3 miles is important, which we'll get into in a minute. We know also that they did the weekend search last weekend at the 2-week mark. We're now at the 3-week mark, 3 weeks today since Bill and Jack were reported missing. Not ruled out the case as suspicious, and it was major crimes that went to collect Melissa Scott's trail cam footage. So she got a 16-hectare property.
Welcome, Charlotte.
So about 16 hectares in acres. About 40 acres, is it? Yeah, 39.5 acres. So she's got a decent sized property. So the next neighbour along, is going to be a ways away. So I think they're doing a 3-mile radius. So 7 trail cams, takes an hour to walk between them all. Should have been around earlier. This should have been done early on. But I think there's a reason why they didn't. It's an 8-kilometre drive, but it's only 5.24 if you go in a straight line. So if you walk through the woods or you walk down the railway tracks, it's 3 miles. 2 other people said they'd been contacted. CBC spoke to one neighbour who didn't want to be named, but confirmed they were asked by investigators for trail cam or security footage. They're looking to rule out vehicles. This could mean that they're tracking every single vehicle in that radius. Sparsely populated, so not as many vehicles as you think. That should have been done earlier as well, because they said from the jump that there was no evidence of an abduction. Well, how do they know if they hadn't checked things like security footage and done an assessment of the vehicles in the area at the time? Is one of their new theories that they could potentially have been abducted. One of the most worrying things, though, is that they want footage from the 27th of April. Lily and Jack were at school the 28th and the 29th, the Monday and the Tuesday. That's according to Mr. Ward, the bus driver, that the last time he saw them, he dropped them off on Tuesday afternoon. Now, is it possible that he's mistaken and Lily and Jack weren't at school the whole week? So could Lily and Jack have been missing since Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday? It's an interesting time that they're looking at, like 5 days previous. But this really worries me. It made me think of the case of little Cody Bigsby. Do you remember Cody Bigsby, anybody? From Virginia. His dad, Corey Bigsby, reported him missing, said that Cody just walked out the house in the middle of the night. They didn't believe him. They didn't believe him from the jump. They took him in for questioning and he never came out. And he has since been convicted of Cody's murder. He's given various confessions of a sort. It became known during the investigation that Cody had not been seen by anybody for months previous. And the cops appealed for information, camera footage, going back like 6 months, going back to June of the previous year. I think this was 2022, if I remember rightly. So it does worry me that they're inching back the time. It makes me think that maybe they believe Lily and Jack were missing longer, which would then implicate the parents. Why didn't they report them missing straight away? Is it because there's foul play involved? Or, as the neighbour Melissa Scott said, perhaps they're identifying all vehicles because they're now starting to suspect an abduction. So is the wandering away on Friday morning theory now less likely in the minds of the RCMP, given that they've done extensive investigations within this inner circle? So perhaps they are now confident that Lily and Jack are not within a mile of the property. Could they have walked further than a mile? Yes, especially if they walked down the road. As well as trail cameras picking up vehicles, obviously they're going to pick up people walking, aren't they? Glengarry Station, you've kind of got to go up here or up here and all the way, but there's not that many roads, is there? So if you think about it, if you start on the 3 mile, you've got vehicles coming on every road that could potentially pass through Lansdowne Station. Like this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. But also the family's vehicles. Daniel said that he'd gone down every dirt track, he'd done this, that, and the third. It should pick him up on the Friday morning. Obviously, not necessarily on Melissa Scott's cameras. She said that there was nothing on her cameras. However, if they're asking other people and they're asking people within this outer ring, then it shows they are extending their thought process, which they should have done earlier. They really should. After yesterday's video, I went and looked at information provided by Robert Coaster. Not sure how to say his name. And he'd actually done a Q&A with CBC on May the 10th about Lily and Jack. He's got a book, which I've now ordered, but it has to come from the US. It's not available in the UK, so it's going to be like 2 weeks before it comes. Lost Person Behaviour a search and rescue guide on where to look for land, air, and water. It's like 300 pages. So I'm going to really dig into that. He's also got an app, which I've got some screenshots from. So this is in mountainous terrain, temperate climate, the type of terrain that Lily and Jack would have gone missing in if they have indeed wandered away. And this is percentage of cases found within these radiuses. If you just look within 0.2 miles of where they were last known, you'll find 25% of people, assuming that they've wandered away, assuming that there's not anything sinister going on. If you go 0.5 miles out, you'll find 50% of people. If you go 1.2 miles out, you'll find 75% of people. So that's the inner circle. That's a shade over a mile. However, if you go 5.2 miles out, you're going to find 95% of people. So 25% of people who wander away, and this is all ages, so maybe for Lily and Jack's age, virtually every child you would find within a 3-mile radius if they have wandered away. So he says that to start an investigation, the age of scenario, where they were last seen, where they went missing, the timeline, what caused them to go missing. Usually there's not one possible scenario, but multiple possible scenarios that could be considered. By scenario, I mean they could have.
They did make a statement early on, Mama D, about where they believed it. I think it was like 3 kilometers possibly is where they expected them to be able to wander to, if that's what happened. I think that's about it, though. And again, I don't think that happened. I don't think those kids went anywhere out of that house on their own. I just don't. I think they were taken out of there in a vehicle. I think that, again, is why the dogs stopped in the driveway with the scent, and that's just my feelings on it. But it's a good question, Mama D, because it they should be looking at it in that sense. But that's my opinion as to what I think happened. They've looked everywhere, and there's no way with the way with the drones, the helicopters, the searchers, everything. They haven't found a thing. Nothing at all. Yeah, Alicia's right. 3.5, 3.5, either. Yeah, but that's it. So I don't. There's no way they wouldn't have found something, and they found nothing. So there's where my issue is with this. And I think they were taken out of there in a vehicle of some form, and for whatever reason, and they haven't been there for a while, truly. So that's just, again, my opinion.
Have gotten lost, they could have gotten hurt, they could have gotten sick, although 2 children at the same time getting sick would be much less likely. They could have gone into a water feature if water features are a possibility, and criminal scenario is also a scenario. All these things have to be considered. 75% of children are 1.2 kilometers away. If you want to go far enough to find 95% of children between 4 and 6 years old, then you've got to jump to 6.6 kilometers away. Now, that was mentioned on the dispatch audio, 6 kilometers. So I think that person on the dispatch audio had a look at this app. What about forest conditions? The area of really dense underbrush. That's the main feature, isn't it, in the woods near Lily and Jack's? So yes, there's drops, there's hills, but it's the wooded density that's the most problem. And he says sometimes limits the data. And he's collected all of this in a database. So this is how he knows all these statistics. Sometimes limits the data, but in kind of a surprising result, a lot of my data also comes from the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Washington State, British Columbia. And you would think those thicker forests might slow people down, but in fact, they tend to go a little bit further than in more eastern vegetation. Interesting. Certainly in Virginia, which is where I'm based out of, people don't go as far during the summer because of all the thick vines and thick vegetation.
Welcome back.
It's always taken into consideration, but the data includes all of those cases. Chances of survivability, 24 hours out, 98% are found alive. Fatalities tend to be drownings. If you don't find them until 2 days, it drops to only 33% of people found alive, like in children. So they've got good reason to believe that Lily and Jack are no longer alive, if indeed we're still talking about a wandering away scenario. And it is possible for Lily and Jack to have walked that far out if they've chosen a route that's not so dense. But in asking for details about vehicles leads me to believe that they potentially are considering abduction and also foul play from the family. And the fact that they want days previous, yeah, people could be casing out the area, looking for potential victims, or Lily and Jack could have gone missing days before they reported missing. What about the dogs? How often is it that they don't catch any scent? It's difficult to assess. You can't really tell how many times dogs fail. So he says it's kind of hard to evaluate because to give a real percentage, you have to know both how many times they caught the scent, how many times they didn't catch the scent. And then the more important part of the equation was how many times was there a scent to catch? Because you're not going to catch any scent if the subject's never been there in the first place. So with not getting any scent from Lily and Jack, is it because they were never there in the first place? Or is it because the dogs missed them for whatever reason? That's really concerns me, that not one dog got a scent. Really concerns me, really. Now, obviously, there's weather that can impact. Wind is a big one, but in a dense wooded area, wind's not going to be as much of a problem. Lily and Jack are low to the ground. Wind isn't going to be so much of a problem if they were in those dense woods. Going to be a huge problem. Scent dissipating on roads happens very quickly. So if they walked away on a road, that's probably why there was no scent, especially if it was windy.
Or they were taken out in a vehicle, like I believe is what happened. In my opinion, of course. But yeah.
Rain, not so problematic, unless it's like a huge storm. Not so problematic. The dog has a cold. Dogs don't catch colds very often. Look, dogs can get kennel cough. There's a type of flu that dogs can get. The type of adenovirus dogs can get. They can't catch the common cold, though. But you kind of know if your dog has got a cold. You know if your dog has got kennel cough. So the dog fails because their nose is blocked. Hopefully you're not taking your dog out if they're coughing and sneezing everywhere. Especially kennel cough, it's really contagious. But absolutely, dogs do make mistakes. They're not computers. They're not. This is a massive problem as well. What are the chances that a drone won't pick up any heat or won't find the person if they're in woods? Two primary sensors that are used is an optical camera and the second is an infrared sensor. Both sensors have to be able to see the ground. This is what I've been saying. In other words, the tree canopy will stop them. Easy to understand how canopy would stop a visual sensor, but it turns out infrared heat is also stopped by leaf cover. The second part was the visibility of the subject. For a normal camera, if there's high contrast, pretty good chance of seeing it. If there's low contrast, even with no canopy, it can be very difficult to spot. And for infrared, that starts to get into heat patterns, and if they're severely hypothermic or they're dead, they'll be dead a while, the same temperature as the environment, there's little chance to be spotted, especially if they're under the canopy. So drones not that useful in a search like this. Sometimes animals, he says it's rare. When a person that's been searched for is never found, what are usually the causes? So I've done a little study into that. One of the reasons they went outside the search area, which is a possibility that I've been talking about for days and days now. The search never reached them because they went out of the search area. I think that's very possible in Sebastian Rogers' case. A second reason was a team was assigned but didn't go where they were assigned. It's pretty rare in this day and age with GPS. Another reason is while they're conducting the search, a split occurs in the area, so they didn't cover that particular chunk of territory. The final reason, it can be darn hard to spot people in the woods. All it can take is a second or two with looking to your left when you needed to be looking to your right to spot the subject, especially with children. They can crawl into small spaces obscured from view. And it is very true that only a small percentage of people who go missing have been a victim of crime, even including small children. So the wandering away scenario is way more probable. So it makes sense for police to have considered that initially. But even if only 4 or 5% of people are victims of crime, Lily and Jack could be one of those 4 or 5%. Absolutely.
No, Thomas. Sorry if there was an echo, guys. There has not been an Amber Alert put out because they don't believe at this point that there are points to prove abduction. This is why I hate the Amber Alert system and why it needs to be changed. Like I said, from the time of birth to the time you turn 18 years old, there should be, if a child goes missing, no matter what the circumstance, there should be an Amber Alert put out immediately. Like immediately. They really need to change it. So it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Just saying. Great to see you today, Charlotte. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. The fact that there's 2 of them gone missing, I don't know, makes it less likely in my eyes to be an abduction, but it's possible. And foul play, well, the fact that they're looking that far back leads me to believe that they are now suspecting a crime of some kind.
Thank you once again, Michelle. Appreciate it. I appreciate the things she's been putting out on this as well. This is just I'm so tired of seeing these happen, guys. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Let me see here. I don't know. Hold on. All right, everybody. So that's really it. Sadly, there is nothing else on this. God, I wish there was. Really wish there was. We've heard from the dog handler. RCMP has nothing else on their website. That's it. Let me see here. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing going on here. Okay. On we go. All right. Moving on. All right, so again, like I said, you guys remember the Mamda Kapabot situation. We covered the case a while back. There hasn't been much happening with that case, sadly. But we do have an update of sorts that I wanted to show you guys on it. 1 minute here. Give me a second here, guys. All right, hold on here. Yeah, it does happen a lot more, Mama. Jeez. It does, and it shouldn't. I mean, they're both very important situations, but children, I think, are a little bit more. It's a little bit more important for a child because they can't defend themselves like a senior citizen possibly could to certain aspects. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't, you know, I don't want to degrade the fact that when a senior goes missing, that it's not important. So I'm not saying that, but I just think that children should be like the #1 priority, period. Hello, little Miss Liberty. Pretty girl. I hope you're having a great day and listening to mommy. I love her. I love her. Yes, I do. We got a great family in here, kids and all, guys. We love each other's kids, and it's just it's awesome. I love this community so very much. All right, so let's check this out, guys. This is an update that was put out about 3 weeks or so ago, I believe, on the Momta Koppelbot situation. Like I said, we haven't gotten a lot of stuff from the court systems or anything on this, sadly, but let's see what they're saying here. Give me a minute.
Right after the news at 11 on WUSA 9 Plus, a brand new special. Join our Rafael Sanchez Cruz and Katie Lusso as they investigate the disappearance of Momta Koppelbot.
I have 2 questions. One, where Momta is, what condition she is at.
Talk to me about the last time you saw her.
In the evening of the Wednesday, we were here and then we ate together.
Momta.
This guy makes me sick, knowing what he did and with the child in the house, that their baby, and I mean, he just makes me sick.
Is not an impulsive person. I really doubt that she would run away.
We've been there for every moment in the search for this missing mother from Manassas, the widespread search evidence, the shocking evidence, really, about what her last hours may have been, and the Prince William County community's push for answers. So now, as we wait for Momta's husband, Naresh, to face trial on murder charges, you can catch up on Momta's story. Stream The Disappearance of Momta Koppelbot on WUSA 9 Plus at 11:35 after the news, or on demand on your time.
Hold on, guys. Sorry, it's something froze on me. I couldn't get it. Jeez, 1 second. 1 minute. Where is it? Okay, this was 3 weeks back as well. Like I said, there's not a lot that's been coming out on this. It's very hard to find updates on it. Agreed, Mama D. Absolutely agreed.
9 o'clock this morning is about the Commonwealth's request for 3 witnesses, all of them out of state, 2 of them actually local news reporters, and another person from Pennsylvania. We want to get you back to the beginning and talk a little bit more about this case, specifically when it comes to what we can expect today after that hearing. 7 News has been covering this case for months, and you're looking at videos from previous rallies supporters held. Today is expected to be no different. I've been inside that courtroom many times as supporters of Momta Koppelbot packed the courtroom. Naresh Bhatt's trial is set to start in September and last for weeks. But let's get you back to the beginning. Investigators and court documents reveal Momta Koppelbot was last seen at UVA Health Prince William Medical Center on July 27th. The next day, she spoke to a friend. Her husband claims he last saw her on July 31st. On August 2nd, Prince William Hospital requested a welfare check because Momta failed to appear to work or call her supervisors for 2 days. She was officially reported missing days later. That same month, her husband was charged with concealing a dead body. By December, he was charged with murder and physically defiling a dead body. Again, that hearing set for 9 o'clock this morning. Outside Prince William County's courthouse, Joy Wang, 7 News.
Now, that was as of, I think, April 25th is when that hearing happened. And I haven't seen, it's very hard to find anything on this. It's crazy. So, all right, guys, there's the updates on that one. And like I said, I just wanted to put something out there because we haven't seen or heard anything on this. And that's sad to me. It was important too. Very important. All right, hold on here. Let's get up to the next segment here. Yeah, gotcha, WB. Gotcha. All right, guys, let's move on. And like I've been doing recently, I've been running some cold cases just to keep people in the know. Some of these cold cases, they don't get seen at all. And we've done Ohio. We have done Michigan yesterday. Today, we're moving into Indiana. We're going to run a few out of Indiana. And again, appreciate you guys being here to be able to see these. It bugs me. Cold cases are a thing that I have a passion for because they don't get enough coverage, in my opinion. So today, like I said, we're moving into Indiana today. It's Mama Bear's country and Miss Zelda. Yesterday we were in Michigan and Miss Alicia's country, and we were in Ohio the day before where I live. So what's the matter, Cassie? What are you talking about? All right, guys, hold on here. Oh, sorry, Cass. Yeah, it was the beginning of it. Anyway, all right, guys, let's check this out. Again, we're in Indiana. Some cold cases that need some attention because they don't get enough. Again, thank you for being here today. We appreciate you very much.
Girl named Anna Marie Arguello disappeared. She was one of 7 children in a household dominated by strict discipline and fear. Anna Marie lived with her mother, Anita Maria Vega, her stepfather, Luis Vega Sr., and her siblings, including her 9-year-old sister, Margarita. What was once a home should have been a sanctuary, but for Anna Marie, it became a place of torment, a place where she endured unspeakable suffering until, according to one harrowing testimony, she simply ceased to exist. Her story remained buried for over 2 decades, lost in the shadows of silence and intimidation, until Margarita, then a grown woman, found the courage to speak the truth. Anna Marie's existence was fraught with hardship. According to Margarita's later testimony, their mother, Anita, was often cruel and physically abusive, particularly toward Anna Marie. Margarita recalled how her mother would beat Anna Marie severely, deprive her of food, and force her into cold baths as a form of punishment. The discipline was beyond harsh. It was torture. The pattern of abuse painted a picture of a child who had been cast aside, unwanted, and unloved by the very person meant to protect her. One fateful night, the abuse turned deadly. Margarita recounted how Anita once again subjected Anna Marie to an icy bath, but this time, she held her daughter's head under the water until she stopped struggling. The silence that followed was deafening. Anna Marie was gone. A mother had just killed her child. But rather than seek help, rather than weep over her daughter's body, Anita moved swiftly to erase Anna Marie's existence. Margarita described how her mother wrapped Anna Marie's small, naked body in an army blanket before placing her into a cardboard box, a box that Luis Vega Sr., her stepfather, later took away after returning home from work. Margarita would never see her sister again, but she remembered overhearing Luis telling Anita that he had buried Anna Marie near the railroad trestles in Frankfurt, known as the viaducts. And just like that, Anna Marie Arguello vanished. There was no funeral, no grave, no obituary, just silence. The disappearance of Anna Marie did not raise alarms at the time. There were no missing person reports, no investigations. It was as though she had never existed. And in a way, that was exactly how Anita intended it. For over 2 decades, Margarita kept the truth locked away, held captive by the terror instilled in her by her mother. Anita made sure of it, threatening her own daughter with death if she ever spoke about what had happened to Anna Marie. The weight of the secret festered inside Margarita's soul, growing heavier with each passing year. It wasn't until 1992, after Margarita had been hospitalized in a California mental health facility for severe anxiety, that the truth began to surface. During therapy sessions, she finally found the strength to speak about the horror she had witnessed as a child. The medical staff listened with growing concern and urgency. They told her that if she did not report what had happened, they would. Finally, after more than 2 decades, Margarita walked into a police station and revealed the horrific truth. Her sister had been murdered by their mother, her body hidden away like an unwanted possession. The investigation into Ana Marie Arguello's disappearance had finally begun. The police faced an unusual challenge. There was no missing persons report, no crime scene, no remains, only the word of a woman who had carried a secret for 23 years. Investigators first attempted to find any proof of Ana Marie's existence. But outside of a single photograph and a birth certificate, she had been all but erased from history. Margarita led authorities to the Benel Cemetery, where she believed her mother had later moved Ana Marie's remains. She recalled how in 1985, Anita had shown her a sack filled with dirt and bones, claiming they belonged to Ana Marie. But when police sifted through the soil at the burial site Margarita had identified, they found nothing but turkey bones. The search yielded no human remains, leaving investigators with little physical evidence. Even the testimony of Margarita's siblings did not help. Rather than corroborate her story, they denied her claims. Some stated they had no memory of Ana Marie's existence. Others simply remained silent. The family was divided, and Margarita found herself alone in her pursuit of justice for her lost sister. Despite the lack of physical evidence, prosecutors moved forward. In October 1993, Anita Maria Vega was charged with involuntary manslaughter. Luis Vega Sr. had passed away in the mid-1980s, taking his secrets to the grave. When confronted by police, Anita initially denied ever having a daughter named Ana Marie. But when authorities presented her with a birth certificate, she changed her story multiple times, first claiming Margarita had killed Ana Marie, then saying that Luis had done it, then suggesting she had found Ana Marie dead in bed, but had kept it secret out of fear. She even claimed Luis had threatened her, fearing deportation to Mexico. At trial, Margarita testified in harrowing detail about the night her sister was killed. Another sibling, Guadalupe Thomas, also took the stand, partially corroborating Margarita's testimony by admitting she had seen Ana Marie's body. However, the defense sought to discredit Margarita, arguing that she was a bitter daughter seeking revenge on her mother for not supporting her when she alleged that Luis had sexually abused her. The jury deliberated for just 15 minutes before returning with a guilty verdict. Anita Maria Vega was sentenced to 1 to 10 years in prison. She served only 3. Justice was served, but it was far from complete. Ana Marie's body was never found. There is no known burial site, no physical place where a sister can go to grieve. For Margarita, the wounds remain. Her siblings, still loyal to Anita, have cut ties with her. She remains estranged from the family she once belonged to, having sacrificed those relationships for the truth. But her voice was not in vain. Because of Margarita's courage, Ana Marie's story was told. The little girl who had been erased was finally acknowledged. Though her body may never be found, her existence can never again be denied. Ana Marie Arguello lived. She mattered, and though justice came late, her name will never again be silenced. Kokomo, Indiana, August 2011. Kelly Armstrong was a mother, a sister, a daughter, and a friend. Though she had her struggles, those who knew her described her as loving, kind, and devoted to her children. Her sudden and unexplained disappearance sent shockwaves through her family. But what followed was an investigation marked by delays, neglect, and a lack of urgency that has left her loved ones searching for answers to this day. Kelly was last heard from in July 2011. She lived in a trailer in Kokomo with her boyfriend, Travis Funk, and their young child. It wasn't uncommon for Kelly to go periods without reaching out, but when weeks turned into months without a single word, her sister, Shelley Rush, grew increasingly concerned. She tried calling Kelly's home, But every time she spoke with Travis, he provided vague, conflicting excuses. Kelly was out with friends, at work, or simply unavailable. Yet, he could never say where exactly she was or when she'd be back. Something felt terribly wrong. In September 2011, with still no sign of Kelly, her sister took matters into her own hands. She started visiting Kelly's usual hangouts, talking to friends and neighbors. No one had seen or heard from her in weeks. That was the final red flag. On September 26, 2011, Shelley reported Kelly missing to the Kokomo Police Department. Despite the alarming circumstances, law enforcement was slow to act. A welfare check was finally conducted, but there was no trace of Kelly or Travis. Notably, Travis had been on house arrest for an unrelated charge, yet no one had been monitoring him. When police arrived at the trailer, it was empty. Travis had cut off his ankle monitor and vanished. When authorities entered the trailer with a search warrant the following day, they found something chilling: large bloodstains on the carpeting. However, instead of treating the residence as an active crime scene, securing evidence, and launching an immediate forensic investigation, they inexplicably left it open and unsecured. In the following days, Travis was finally apprehended on unrelated charges, but Kelly was still missing. When questioned, Travis refused to cooperate. Then, on October 7, 2011, an unexpected break came in the case. A fellow inmate of Travis came forward, claiming Travis had confessed to murdering Kelly and expressed concerns about the evidence left behind. Yet, even with this damning information, police failed to act with urgency. There was no immediate follow-up search, no forensic deep dive into the trailer. The case seemed to stagnate as critical time was lost. Weeks passed before another informant came forward. A friend of Travis told police that Travis had explicitly described how he had killed Kelly with a hammer. The friend recalled seeing the bloodstains in the trailer and revealed that Travis had asked for help disposing of the evidence.
I absolutely agree. That's why I run these, and try to stick to putting, or try to make, not stick to, but try to put cold cases out when I can, because it bugs me how much justice they don't get, how much airplay they don't get, and how often they're just forgotten about. It bugs the hell out of me, truly. It's really sad to me.
Evidence. The friend refused, but the revelation was a bombshell. Finally, authorities were forced to take action. It wasn't until November 2nd, 2011, nearly a month after Travis's confession to his cellmate, that police secured a second search warrant for the trailer. Inside, they found a green-handled hammer that matched the friend's description, as well as 2 large bloodstains in the bedroom and additional stains in the living room. Subsequent DNA tests confirmed the blood belonged to Kelly Armstrong. Despite the mounting evidence, investigators continued to drag their feet. If they had acted sooner, perhaps more crucial evidence could have been preserved. Instead, the trailer had been left unsecured for weeks, even after the discovery of blood. Teenagers had reportedly broken in and thrown a party, further contaminating the scene. On January 6, 2012, Travis Funk was formally interviewed by police. He finally admitted to killing Kelly, but his story...
Don't worry about it, Jesse. I understand. You're good to go. We'll be here this afternoon, and it'll be earlier, hopefully. So hope maybe you can join us this afternoon to jump back into it. I appreciate you either way. It's great to see you today, and hopefully maybe we'll see you a little bit later, sir. Appreciate you being here now. I hope you're feeling better.
It was as unbelievable as it was infuriating. He claimed that Kelly had hit him in the head with a hammer, knocking him unconscious, and that he only remembered killing her in what he described as a vivid dream. His alleged self-defense argument was laughable in the face of the evidence. Travis went on to describe how he disposed of Kelly's body. He said he placed a plastic bag over her head, wrapped her in a tarp, and put her in a trash container. That container was picked up later that same day by the local garbage service. However, there was a problem. Police initially determined that the murder had taken place on July 8, 2011, but Kelly's family had spoken to her as late as August 2nd. If Travis was lying about the date of the murder, was he also lying about where he had disposed of her body? The police conducted a search of the Wabash Valley landfill, believing that's where Kelly's remains had ended up. But they found nothing. Then came another blow. Authorities declared they would not conduct further searches unless Kelly's family footed the bill. The cost, a staggering $7,000 per day. The family was devastated. They had fought tirelessly for Kelly, only to be told that her final resting place wasn't worth searching for unless they
That's insane to me. That is absolutely disgusting. Blows my mind.
paid for it themselves. By February 2012, Travis Funk was offered a plea deal. Prosecutors accepted his claim that he had killed Kelly in a heat of passion, reducing the charge to voluntary manslaughter. He was sentenced to just 33 years in prison, a mere fraction of what Kelly's family felt he deserved. Even worse, the family still had no body, no closure, and no justice. They couldn't even visit the last place Kelly lived. The trailer was eventually removed from the park. The one place that could have served as a somber memorial was gone, just like Kelly. To this day, Kelly Armstrong's remains have never been found. Her family continues to believe that Travis knows more than he ever admitted, that he lied about when and where he disposed of her body. But with law enforcement unwilling to continue the search, they're left in limbo, mourning a loved one they can never lay to rest. If you have any information about Kelly Armstrong's case or where Travis Funk may have disposed of her remains, please contact the Kokomo Police Department at 765-459-5101. On July 25, 2015, Diamond Bynum and her young nephew, King Walker, mysteriously vanished from their home in Gary, Indiana. Their disappearance has since been a chilling case that has puzzled authorities, and despite extensive searches, media coverage, and public pleas, the mystery remains unsolved. Diamond Bynum was a 21-year-old woman living with her father, Eugene Bynum, and his wife, Suzanne, in Gary, Indiana. She was born on February 18, 1994, and although she was an adult, Diamond had intellectual delays and physical limitations due to Prader-Willi syndrome, a rare genetic disorder. This condition leads to extreme flexibility, cognitive impairments, and, most notably, an insatiable hunger. Diamond had the mental and emotional capabilities of a 7-year-old child, which meant she often acted in ways that were age inappropriate for a 21-year-old adult. King Walker, on the other hand, was just a toddler at the time of the disappearance. Born on May 11, 2013, King was just 2 years old, a playful and energetic child with an infectious personality. He stood about 3 feet tall and weighed approximately 35 pounds. His family described him as a joyful, curious boy who loved to run around and play. He was not yet speaking in full sentences, but he understood a handful of words and loved games like running and being chased. King was the nephew of Diamond, and the two were extremely close, often spending weekends together. The family had recently moved from Hammond, Indiana, to Gary, Indiana, in February 2015, so Diamond was still unfamiliar with the area. Though her father and stepmother were newly settled in Gary, Diamond's prior home in Hammond had been a place where neighbors knew her well, and she could rely on others to help guide her if she ever got lost. In contrast, her new surroundings in Gary were unfamiliar, and this would play a crucial role in the events that followed. The timeline of events leading to Diamond and King's disappearance begins on the morning of July 25, 2015. It was a Saturday, and Diamond and King were spending time together at the home on the 500 block of Matthews Street in Gary, Indiana. On this particular morning, Suzanne Bynum, Diamond's stepmother, decided to take a nap. Around 10:20 a.m., both Diamond and King were in the home, laying down for a morning rest. Suzanne also lay down to rest shortly thereafter. However, when Suzanne woke up at around 11 a.m., she was immediately concerned. Diamond and King were gone. Suzanne quickly checked the house, the front yard, and the immediate area for any sign of them, but found nothing. Panicking, she called her husband Eugene at work and told him to come home immediately. She then called the police to report the two missing. The search for Diamond and King began quickly. but there were few leads at first. Suzanne was certain that something had happened to them. It was highly uncharacteristic for Diamond to wander off on her own, especially considering her intellectual limitations. Furthermore, King, being so young, would not have been able to wander far by himself. The family initially thought that Diamond might have taken King to a nearby store, but this theory quickly faded. There was plenty of food in the house, including an untouched chocolate cake, which led the family to believe that Diamond had no reason to go out for supplies. The family quickly started to consider other possibilities. Could King have opened the front door, and Diamond, following him, had become lost while trying to keep up? According to the family, King was faster than Diamond, and it was possible that he had run far enough away for them to both become disoriented. Another theory was that Diamond, not familiar with Gary, had decided to go for a walk but had gotten lost in the unfamiliar city. One potential lead came from McDonald's employee who reported seeing the pair in a local McDonald's. The employee claimed they gave Diamond and King food, but at the time, they were unaware that the pair was missing. When the authorities were notified, they tried to obtain security footage from the McDonald's, but there was no confirmation that Diamond and King had been
Okay, good trouble.
The family was left with more questions than answers. As the hours turned into days, the search for Diamond and King intensified. Their family, friends, and neighbors all combed through the area, knocking on doors, handing out flyers, and searching nearby abandoned buildings. The police continued to investigate, and by Sunday, July 26, 2015, they had received numerous tips from people claiming to have seen the pair. However, none of these tips led to any solid leads, and by the evening of July 27th, the sightings remained unconfirmed. By Wednesday, July 29th, 2015, the search expanded significantly. The FBI's Gang Response Investigative Team, the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, and the Porter County Search and Rescue teams were all called in to assist. Investigators began searching house by house, block by block, and checking abandoned homes in Gary. This was no small task. Gary had approximately 15,000 abandoned homes at the time. Dogs trained to detect scent were brought in to track the pair's whereabouts. The dogs were able to track their scent to a local gas station, but the trail was lost soon after. Despite their best efforts, investigators found nothing of significance during their block-by-block search. At this point, the police began to entertain the idea that someone might be hiding or caring for Diamond and King. They received a tip suggesting that someone might be looking after them somewhere in the area, but again, no concrete evidence or confirmation emerged. Gary ranks as one of the most dangerous cities in the United States, and one should definitely be aware of their surroundings in such a city. As days turned into weeks, the pressure mounted for the family. On Eugene Bynum's birthday, July 27th, 2015, he expressed how devastating it was to be spending his special day searching for his missing daughter and grandson. The family did everything they could to keep the search going, but by August 3rd, 2015, the official police search was called off. Lieutenant Thomas of the Gary Police Department explained that resources had dried up and they simply no longer had the means to continue the extensive search. However, Eugene and other family members did not stop. They continued to search through abandoned houses, posting flyers, and contacting local churches and volunteers to assist. Eugene became desperate for answers, staying out late into the night, searching the streets for any trace of his family members. In mid-August, the police released a statement announcing that a person of interest, a 34-year-old man from Gary, was being sought in connection with the disappearances. The man was later located and interviewed, but no charge suspect. This left the investigation at a standstill, with no clear direction for the police to follow. As the weeks passed, the family continued their search, although the lack of resources from law enforcement was a constant source of frustration. On August 29, 2015, the family held a press conference marking the 1-month anniversary of Diamond and King's disappearance. At this point, the family was vocal about their frustration with the lack of an Amber Alert being issued. King, being only 2 years old, met the criteria for an Amber Alert, but because he was with an adult at the time, it was believed that he was not in immediate danger. Additionally, because Diamond was an adult, she did not meet the criteria for an Amber Alert either.
See, this is ridiculous because she should have met criteria for a silver alert, I do believe, or I don't know how Indiana does it, but if there's any kind of like a intellectual disability or anything like that, they put, there's an alert for that here in Ohio. And then he, with the Amber Alert thing, that's what I'm saying, you guys. These things are just, they need to be putting those out immediately, and it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Despite their calls for action, the alert was never issued. In the following weeks, additional unconfirmed sightings of Diamond and King continued to surface. Some claimed they had been spotted on the south side of Chicago, eating at fast food restaurants with a white couple, but nothing was verified. On September 2nd, 2015, after nearly 6 weeks of searching, authorities issued a silver alert for Diamond, but not for King, as he was still presumed to be with Diamond. A tip led police to Blue Island, Illinois, about 25 miles.
So they do use the silver alert, and they waited that long. This is somebody that has an intellectual disability, and you just wait all this time? Are you kidding? With a child, mind you. This is so ridiculous to me. This is why these cases don't get solved. This is why people get harmed in these situations, and it's horrifying to me. They need to change the stipulations on this. It's ridiculous.
Miles away, where it was believed that Diamond and King had been seen near a gas station. However, when surveillance footage was reviewed, it was determined that the individuals in the video were not Diamond and King. The case continued to generate media interest, especially after the discovery of a body in Garfield Park Lagoon in Chicago on September 5th, 2015. The body was identified as a 2-year-old boy, and although the family feared it might be King, DNA tests later confirmed that it was not him. The family held on a hope that their loved ones were still alive. As months passed, and with no new leads, the family's hope began to fade. By December 2015, Eugene spoke with immense sorrow, describing how difficult it had been to spend the holidays without his daughter and grandson. His words reflected the heavy burden of uncertainty that hung over the family. The search for Diamond and King went on, but with fewer resources and no confirmed sightings, the case began to fade from the public eye. In 2016, nearly a year after their disappearance, investigators from the Northwest Indiana Major Crimes Task Force began to reassess the case. They conducted re-interviews, re-canvassed areas with new canine searches, and submitted evidence for further testing. But no new information came to light, and the case remained unresolved. Over the following years, the case continued to slip into obscurity. The family held annual vigils and press conferences, always hoping for new information that would lead them to Diamond and King. In 2018, after nearly 3 years, the police revealed that they had not received a tip in over a year. The case seemed to be at a standstill, and the search effort was minimal. The Bynum family continued to press for answers, holding rallies and engaging the public through social media. By 2020, after 5 years of Diamond and King's disappearance, the family still clung to the hope that their loved ones were alive. A few tips came in, but none led to any significant breakthroughs. On the 7th anniversary of the disappearance, in July 2022, investigators released an age-progressed photo of King, now a 9-year-old child. It was an attempt to bring the case back into the public eye. While there was no new information, the hope remained. The family has not given up, continuing to search for their loved ones. They believe someone knows what happened and continue to urge anyone with information.
I'm going to tell you guys, this case, strangely to me, feels almost like a trafficking situation because they found no bodies. They're not deceased. And at least they could be deceased. I'm saying they haven't found any proof of them being deceased. And I swear, because of her intellectual disability, she's easier to maybe coerce into certain situations. He's going to follow her as he looks up to her with what she does and trust in her with what she's doing. And to me, I believe that they could have both been grabbed and trafficked. That's my opinion, because they found nothing. And it just doesn't make sense. Anything else would make no sense to me. So this is why I think the time frame for Sebastian, it was called in one before he supposedly left and would have been found. Yeah, I agree, Cap. It's crazy.
To come forward. The mystery of Diamond Bynum and King Walker's disappearance remains unsolved to this day. The police investigation remains active, and the public's assistance is still sought. Both Diamond and King's families continue to hold out hope that one day they will find answers and be reunited with their loved ones. If anyone has information about the case, they are encouraged to contact the Gary Police Department at 219-881-1260.
This will be
On
our
the
last
evening of
one.
December 31st, 2014, 18-year-old Marina Bolter, a bright, independent young woman from Bloomfield, Indiana, clocked out her shift at the IGA grocery store at 6 o'clock p.m. She was last seen getting into a silver, beige, or gold 2009 to 2011 Mercury Milan, driven by a middle-aged Caucasian male with glasses. The car, characterized by multi-spoke rims, a spoiler, and a shark fin antenna on top, drove off in the direction of Marina's apartment. This moment would be the last time anyone saw Marina alive, and she would disappear without a trace. Marina had been dealing with challenges in her life, especially in her teenage years. She had given birth to a son in April 2014, and despite a tumultuous relationship with her on and off again boyfriend, Douglas D.J. Lockhart, they both loved their child. However, Marina's life took a painful turn when her sister, Faith, and Faith's boyfriend got into a physical altercation in August 2014, resulting in the baby suffering a brain injury. This incident led to Marina losing custody of her child, who was placed in foster care. The emotional toll from the event caused a rift between Marina and her family, especially with her sister and her father's side of the family, who had supported Faith's fugitive lifestyle after she violated her probation. By December, Marina had begun an affair with Toby, an older married man and family friend. He helped her secure an apartment in hopes of creating stability to get her son back. Marina was working at the IGA deli counter and living on her own in this small apartment. On New Year's Eve, she planned to attend a party hosted by Toby. After work, she encountered DJ, who invited her to his New Year's party, but she declined, explaining she had plans to attend another party. DJ witnessed her getting into the car with the unidentified man, a regular customer at the deli, who offered her a ride home. The man later reported that Marina asked to be dropped off at a closed-down pizza restaurant, not wanting him to know where she lived. This behavior seemed consistent with Marina, according to her mother, Tressie, who didn't find it strange. The man claimed to have dropped her off at the pizza place, which was just across the street from her apartment. He left afterward, and Marina was never seen again. The next day, Marina did not show up for her shift at work, and when she missed a visitation with her son, who was in foster care, a missing person report was filed. Police found her apartment in a state that suggested she hadn't been gone long, with no signs of a struggle or theft. Her purse, phone, and keys were missing, but other belongings remained undisturbed, which struck her mother as odd. Tressie discovered that Marina's cell phone last pinged 10 minutes after leaving work, but this information led to no useful clues. Despite this, the Walmart store manager helped retrieve the phone's data, which provided minimal information for the investigation. Tressie noted that Marina would have left behind her work clothes if she had changed to get ready for the party, but they were nowhere to be found. With no answers, the investigation turned toward the man who had given Marina a ride home. His car and description were made public, and it took 3 weeks for him to come forward. His criminal history, which included convictions for abduction and rape, raised suspicion, but he insisted that he dropped Marina off at the pizza place as she had asked and had nothing further to add. He passed a polygraph test, and the police cleared him as a suspect, though his involvement remained uncertain. Another potentially important figure in the case was Toby, the married man with whom Marina had been having an affair. Toby admitted to the affair and maintained a close relationship with Marina's family, even though her mother disapproved. He had also invited Marina to the New Year's Eve party. Investigators learned that Toby had asked the woman at the party to call Marina repeatedly when she hadn't arrived yet, but Toby himself never called her. Moreover, when Marina left work, she had been on the phone with Toby, and the last words she supposedly spoke to him were, "Oh, it's DJ," before hanging up. However, she never called Toby back. Toby's behavior after Marina's disappearance raised suspicions. While he helped search for her, he avoided Tressy's calls and messages and ignored her requests for help. Interestingly, Toby had a key to Marina's apartment, as he was the one who helped her secure it in the first place. Tressy discovered that Marina's journals, which she had always kept, were missing. These journals might have provided crucial insights into Marina's state of mind and her relationships in the days leading up to her disappearance. Another disturbing connection was revealed when it was discovered that a convicted murderer, Vernon Gale Briner, had been living in the same apartment building as Marina. Briner, known for his role in the 1976 Aurora College killing, had been released from prison just 2 years before Marina vanished. Although he had an alibi for the night of her disappearance, his presence raised unsettling questions. Meanwhile, DJ became an unlikely figure in the case when, 6 weeks after Marina's disappearance, he was fatally stabbed during a confrontation at a bar. DJ had heard that a man named Michael Rogers had been with Marina, and when he confronted Rogers, a fight broke out, resulting in DJ's death. Although Rogers was not charged, some believed that DJ's death could have been related to Marina's disappearance, or perhaps he was just upset over the rumors. Despite DJ's death, the search for Marina continued, driven by Tressy's unwavering belief that he was not responsible for her disappearance. In the years following Marina's vanishing, her family persisted in their efforts to find answers. They launched fundraising campaigns, walked through town with signs, and updated social media pages dedicated to her case. Tressy even walked 15 miles through town to raise money for a billboard. Despite all these efforts, no new leads have emerged. 6 years have passed, and Marina's son, who was in foster care, has since been adopted. No physical evidence has been found, and no new suspect have been named in her case. Theories abound regarding who might be responsible for Marina's disappearance. The unnamed man who drove her home, DJ, Toby, Vernon Briner, or even a stranger who crossed her path. Though no one knows for sure what happened to Marina, her family remains determined to keep searching for the truth. They continue to hope that someone, somewhere, has information that could finally bring them the answers they so desperately need. If anyone has information about Marina's case, they're urged to contact the Bloomfield Police Department at 812-332-4411.
All right. There's some cold cases for us today. Hopefully it'll help in some way, shape, or form or fashion. Sorry, couldn't speak clearly. All right. Let's see here. What do we have here? 1 second. Let me find it. Well, like I told you guys, I had an update. An update on something that we have ran and covered. And one of our amazing community members here, Miss Jana, her sister, had gone missing a while back. We covered Crystal, her sister, Crystal McCory Jones, her case. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys like those. I hope you like them. I was trying to put something new in here for you guys, and I hoped that the day would work out for you. So, and I'm going state by state by state. So I hope you guys are enjoying that new segment there. But this is an update that has been put out via Miss Jenna, part of our community. And like I said, we covered her sister Crystal's case a while back and support her in every aspect that we can to help to find her sister. And she really had no help with this, none, folks, and finally started to get some help. So I want to run this for you guys. and show you it's an update within the case, what they're doing for her. Finally giving her some help. She's finally getting some prayers answered to get some help from different places. What's up, Willard? Good to see you, bro. And hopefully, got me stumped. Good to see you as well. Hopefully, this will help to bring some new info into that case for where Miss Crystal is. So, again, we love you, Jana. I hope, like I said, that this helps, and hopefully one day we'll get some answers to where Miss Crystal, what happened, I should say, not where she is. I'm sorry. What happened to Miss Crystal? Because everybody has their thoughts on this. So, very scary situation as to what went down, and I just don't trust what was put out on this at all. If you guys will remember the case when we covered it. Hey, Bemmy, good to see you. Critical Minds, great to have you here. Truth Nation Uncensored, hello. Oh, Willie. Sorry, Willie. Jesus. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so again, for Miss Jana, again, please, guys, if you see this, I'd like to put Miss Jana's link in here too, mods, and have everybody go subscribe to Miss Jana's channel, and support her in finding the truth about what happened with Crystal. Please and thank you. Sorry, I'm all over the place trying to read things. My apologies. Here we go.
Was to water.
Crystal McCrory was the bright centerpiece of a loving family.
She was the best aunt.
Oh, give me 1 second. I want to do something real fast with this too. My apologies. One second. Okay. Anyway, sorry, you guys. I'm all over the place today. And there's a link to, thank you, SRB. That's what I was trying to put out there. And again, footage was provided via True Crime News, so thank you to them as well. There's their link as well for you guys. Go check them out. On we go.
The best sister, the best mom, and the best daughter. She was just a phenomenal person.
But 2 years ago, something dark happened to the beloved wife, sister, and mother, who was found dead with a pillow over her face and a gunshot wound to the head. Dane McCrory will never forget the phone call from his sister's husband, Tony Joe Jones.
You know, I'm thinking, okay, Crystal's probably left him or something. But the phone call I got was, your sister's been found dead.
Dane called me and asked me if I was sitting down.
Dane's younger sister, Jana, couldn't believe the tragic news.
He didn't know the details of it, and I just stood there and asked Dane, what do I do? What do we do?
Jana heads to Crystal's house. She waits outside next to the coroner and Crystal's husband, Tony, a one-time employee of the West Carroll Parish Sheriff's Department. She speaks by phone with Dane.
I told Dane I'm not leaving until she comes out. That's when the coroner walked up to Tony, and he kind of whispered, we still have to send her body off for an autopsy. I just thought to myself, why are you saying still? Was there another conversation held about not sending her body off for an autopsy?
Jana says she immediately felt something was off. Her suspicion grew when, within hours, the local coroner labels Crystal's manner of death a suicide. Though the family admits Crystal had faced depression and once even attempted suicide.
I'm telling you, from what we know on this case, she definitely did not do this. And there's a lot of pieces of information on this and this is a big one that points to police corruption, period. There's no two ways to look at it, guys. So again, please pay attention. And yeah, she deserves this, Alicia. I agree. I'm grateful to this. Absolutely grateful for this.
They now say she was overjoyed at becoming a grandmother for the first time. They aren't convinced she took her life, and she didn't even leave a note.
Crystal wrote notes for everything. If she was mad at you, you got a note or Facebook message. If she was happy with you, you got a note. She wrote notes to remind herself about notes, and there was no note.
Ever since, her brother and sister believe there's more to Crystal's death than they've been told.
Okay, so we have 2 autopsy reports here.
And they've collected a mountain of their own evidence they say proves it.
The evidence that we have uncovered points a completely different direction. It points to a staged suicide scene. It points to everything but what they say it is. And the fact that we were lied to from minute 1 of this investigation.
This timeline is like 278 pages. It's going to start on February the 9th, 2023, and it goes up until this day.
They believe problems were evident from day one. Their biggest suspicion, Tony's interview with the sheriff's department, which lasted a total of 7 minutes.
I'll be taking a statement this afternoon from Tony Jones in reference to a self-inflicted gunshot wound of his wife, Miss Crystal McCory Jones.
Immediately within the 7 minutes that was in the interview, he ruled it self-inflicted.
I went into town, I put a check in the bank.
7 minutes. Did you hear that? 7 minutes. Unbelievable to me.
I turned around and then I went to eat at Bakery Barn. I left there and went to Forest High School, and I was there till just shy of 3 o'clock.
Tony tells his former colleague, Chief Deputy Alan Irby, he was in a class full of karate students that afternoon. The family claims those students were never interviewed, and they say Tony's phone records were never checked.
If you're making tiny mistakes, what kind of big mistakes are you making?
Lindsay Smith is a private investigator who worked with Crystal's family.
They just took Tony's word for it because he was their friend, and we're dealing with a small town police department. And I don't think that they are well equipped for a homicide investigation, a suicide investigation.
Because the coroner ruled the death a suicide, Tony was not a suspect and has never faced any charges. He told investigators Crystal battled depression and had a doctor's appointment that afternoon. When he learned she never checked in, he says he panicked.
So I called Deputy Harris, he was my neighbor, and he said he was almost home, that he would go check. He went inside, was calling her name. I said, the bedroom's in the very back of the house, and her name's Crystal.
Boy, isn't that convenient? Mind you, the door was open. Crystal didn't leave the door unlocked, okay? Remember that. That's a big important thing, but the door was left unlocked, and it's convenient that a fellow police officer, per se, friend of his, is the one that checked on her and found her. Quite interesting to me.
How does Tony Jones know she's in the bedroom? Just one of the many things that would have raised red flags to someone just straight out of police academy.
Were you still on the phone?
I was still on the phone with him, and he.
And mind you, Tony was literally minutes away from her. He could have done it. He literally could have done it, but he did. This is what he did instead, to keep him from the crime scene, in my opinion. This is really, really sad the way this happened. I feel so bad for Jana. It's unbelievable to me and their family. Right. Exactly, Alicia. I love how all these cops just take the husband's wife's word. She was depressed. Bullshit. But bullshit. This is absolute pure bullshit to me.
Opened the door and he said, Crystal, Crystal. And then he, at that point, he said, Tony, I'm sorry to tell you that she is deceased.
He had ample opportunity to go check on her himself. But does he do it? No.
One day after the interview, Dane called Chief Deputy Irby asking if there were any signs of forced entry or foul play.
His answer to me was, look, I've known Tony Jones and his family for 20 years. Tony's not the kind of person that could be involved in something like this. Immediate red flag.
This was a botched investigation from the very beginning. Like, nobody gave Jana the time or courtesy to explain to her how they got to the suicide ruling, and there was just no proper investigation done, period.
And there could be more
Not
suspicious
even close.
cases that don't add up. From a toxicology report they say can't possibly be right, to the position of the gun in Crystal's own hand. When it comes to Crystal McCrory's death, her siblings have endless questions and zero answers. From what they believe was the possible number of shots fired.
There it is. As plain as day, 2 bullet holes. and the headboard. People who shoot themselves in the head do not shoot themselves in the head twice.
To the unusual way Crystal's hand stayed perfectly positioned on the gun, her finger still firmly on the trigger, even after the weapon would have fired. And a shell casing isn't found in the bedroom until a week later on her dresser, discovered by Crystal's husband, Tony. Original investigative photos
Conveniently.
don't appear to show a casing in that location. The sheriff says it was always there, they just missed gathering it.
It would have been physically impossible for a shell casing to eject that far and land on this table. But
And the trajectory for it makes no sense. When we talked to Crystal about this, we went over all this. First off, the positioning that Crystal was in when she shot the gun, where the entry wound was. No, guys, it was on the opposite side. Okay, you can't do something like this. It's just not the way it was done. You can't do it. And the bullet, the way we found the bullet, you could tell that it was hidden there. There's no way it made it that far across the room and landed in that spot, hidden out of plain eyesight where you can't see it until just conveniently it shows up. When Tony decided, oh shit, we need to have a bullet, a casing here. In my opinion, just saying. This case pissed me off. The way that Janet was treated and her family. This absolutely spells corruption out with a capital C, in my opinion, and I hate it.
But they tried to claim that what they say is a shell casing in the in the crime scene photo, the only thing on this table that even remotely looks like a shell casing is a makeup brush. There's not a shell casing in this photo. They're saying that's a glare of a shell casing.
But Crystal's laptop set off more suspicions. Jana discovered the couple was having money troubles, and she says Tony was immediately on multiple dating sites.
He had Google searched when is an appropriate time to date after the death of a spouse. And that was 4 days after she had passed away.
Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen this, I would really appreciate you maybe taking some time when you get some extra time on your hands. Click that link there. Go back and watch this show with Jana. You'll get an idea as to how crazy this is. Okay, please do. I would love it. Hit the like button, share it out, show others. It needs to be seen, guys, because this is absolutely a disgrace that their family has to go through this, and the way this happened to Crystal, it's horrible. So thank you, SRB, for that.
And the 3-page toxicology report created further questions for the family.
We found out that she had 250 milligrams of diphenhydramine, which is over-the-counter Benadryl, in her system. That's enough to sedate a 1,000-pound horse. So they wanted us to believe that she had enough sedatives in her system to sedate a large animal, but was still able to operate a firearm and kill herself? No, we don't buy it. We don't believe it. We never will.
There's more. They say Crystal's thighs and hands were...
And also, I'm going to show you something. If you see the way her hand is on this gun, if she would have done this to herself in the position, she couldn't pull that off first off, but her hand, there's no way in hell with the force of the gun firing that her hand would have stayed on that in that position that way. No way in hell. It's not even possible, folks. Not possible. And that's how it was found. You can tell that her hand was very carefully placed perfectly on that gun, just like that. There's no way in hell she did that, and it stayed that way. Remember that.
Bruised, and shockingly, her hands were not bagged at the scene or tested.
There it is. And they never tested her for GSR. They didn't do any of that because they didn't have to, because they knew.
For gunshot residue. Dane says the sheriff's office assured him both would be done.
He said, yes, that's standard procedure. And
Never happened.
Firearm involved crime. According to the pathologist, that would have to have been requested by the sheriff's office. No such request was made.
And multiple investigative reports were riddled with errors, they say.
You can start with the spelling of her name, her hair color. He didn't express any concerns about the bruising that we saw, her eye color.
Even the time of death changed multiple times, finally recorded as 11 a.m. When Janet questioned the changes, the sheriff told her,
I don't know what you're trying to pull, lady, but that's absolutely false.
When she had more questions for the pathologist and requested more documents,
He shut me down and said that if you have any more questions, you need to contact the West Carroll Parish Sheriff's Office.
All of these little things collectively deserve a second chance.
True Crime News reached out to Crystal's husband, Tony Jones, but did not hear back. Her family believes another agency should have investigated since Tony had worked for the sheriff, a possible conflict of interest. In a statement to True Crime News, Sheriff Scott Matthews had this to say about Jana. I pray that this young lady gets the closure that she's seeking, and I pray for all of the family. But make
And that's bullshit because he treated her like garbage. They all did. They were treated as if they did something wrong by questioning the situation, okay? No. There's definite corruption going on in this one, guys, and it's disgusting to me. No, Heather. No, it should be though. This is just bad. It's bad all the way around. Very bad. And these kids, she was going to be a grandmother, for God's sakes, okay? She had everything to live for. And this was not her personality, as Janet will tell you. When you see that in the episode, if you watch it, I'm telling you, this is absolute unjust. And this family deserves nothing but true justice on this. And they're not getting any bit of it. None of it.
making that harder, Tony had their sister cremated against the family's wishes.
We practically begged for her not to be cremated. He said, it's my decision. I can legally do what I want. We have no place to go to see my sister. He took her remains. We have nothing.
That breaks my heart. It absolutely breaks my heart. And how about that? They have no right to do that, in my opinion, and shouldn't have done that. They begged, Janice said that they basically begged them to not do that. And guess what? What other reason would you do that if the family doesn't want you to? That's insane to me.
We have absolutely nothing because of him. He has taken every trace of her away from us.
Now the family still wants another agency to step in, and though it won't bring back Crystal, it might bring her justice.
There's not a day goes by that I don't think about her. I have two daughters, and one is the spitting image of her personality, and the other is the spitting image of her looks. I mean, they remind me daily.
So once again, thank you, Janet, for dropping that. I want to run that in support of that. Unbelievable, you guys. Unbelievable. This case, it just tears me apart. Knowing what they've gone through, what they're still going through. It's absolutely insane to me. It really is. It should never have happened. Never. And truly, I feel that this was done purposely, that somebody killed her and she didn't take her own life. And that is my feelings on that, period. So, very sad situation. And again, justice for Krista McCrory Jones. She deserves everything, every bit of that justice, guys. Every bit of it. All right, let's see here. Yeah, please do take that link that SRB put up there. Go check out this show, guys. You don't want to miss that one. It's very interesting. Yeah, Jenna here. I interviewed her, talked to her. She gave all the details that this didn't show, and then some. So very, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, guys, let's see what we got coming up here next. Thank you again for supporting that situation. All right, hang on here. All right, give me a minute here. One minute. 1 minute. Sorry, this stuff is not loading sometimes again. Thank you for your patience. Just a minute here. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Is it going to work? Or do I have to do this again? Hold on. All right, here it's loading now. All right, guys, it's that time. You might want to grab your box of tissues because sometimes you need them when we cover this. Let's see what positivity we got rolling around in the world out here. And check out some good Samaritans doing good things for other people in the world and being good, just being good in general to each other. It does still exist with all the negative stuff we see on a regular basis. I put these out here just to remind everybody there are good people and good things happening every day in the world still. And it gives you faith and hope in humanity. So here we go.
Might be in a wheelchair, but nothing could stop us excited. These two guys weren't about to let a wheelchair stop this kid from scoring a goal. They lifted him up, helped him kick, and gave him the best moment ever. Lunchtime laughter took a sudden turn when a kid a dog had fallen through the ice, struggling in freezing water, moments from giving up. But one brave man dove in without hesitation, fighting the cold to bring that dog back to life and safety. Out in the open water, this fisherman spotted a dolphin tangled in nets, fighting just to stay afloat. Without a second thought, he reached in, calmly freeing its fins.
Baby dolphin, too. Wow. Never seen one that little.
Ganhei o ano. Ganhei o ano, cara. Olha. Tadinho, né? Tá enroscado aqui num pedaço de rede. Vai embora, vai pra casa, vai.
He was struggling up the escalator, wheelchair in one hand and sheer determination in the other, until it all nearly went wrong. But out of nowhere, this woman flew in like a superhero without a cape and caught him just in time. Talk about real-life reflexes. In the middle of the street, a homeless man wrapped a blanket around a stray dog and pulled him close. No home, no riches. Just a warm hug that said, "You're safe with me." He was just another street performer, frozen like a statue waiting to spook someone. until a tiny toddler waddled up and gave him a hug. Just like
Oh, wow. Hi.
this little kid was waving at a fire truck, living his best life, when suddenly one of the firefighters stepped out. He handed over a tiny plastic helmet, and just like that, a childhood dream came true.
Have a good night, buddy. Oh, thank you. Oh, my goodness.
The street was soaked and the puddles were deep, but this big brother wasn't about to let his little sister get wet. So up she went on his back. Rainy day rescue, sibling edition. Grandma pulled out a mini water gun like she meant business. He spun around, armed with bananas, and gave her a standoff straight out of a comedy movie. This isn't your average grocery trip. It's an ongoing showdown between a grandma and her favorite grocery worker. Each visit, the weapons get bigger, the laughs get louder, and this hilarious tradition just keeps leveling up. This tiny legend walked out with goodie bags for the trash crew, beaming with pride. And in return, they lifted him up like a VIP and let him press the magic button. Pure joy, pure heart.
It's my birthday.
I've been asking all about you too. So let me know you were gonna be here. I so try my best to hurry up and get over here until you see I'm a whole hour early, just so I can see you.
Awesome stuff, guys. There you go. A little bit of positivity to remember how much good there is in the world. Anytime you start to doubt it, remember some of them things, guys, because it does exist. It truly does exist. And it gives me so much hope for humanity. It really does. Seeing all the negativity we look at every day, it's that important. We need to see it. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna say 3:30, 4 o'clock, maybe at the latest. SRB. Let me see here. Hold on. All right, guys. That being said, you know where we're at now. Let's see if we can get some laughs out of us before we get out of here. Let's give it a minute to get it rolling. Hold on. 1 second. I got a couple different versions of those. start with this one here, and we'll move through a couple of these.
You don't want to come in the bed? I gotta get your toenails trimmed. I gotta get your toenails.
You don't want to go to the vet. That's hilarious. All right, Cass.
Come on, then. Let's go.
Rob touch, Rob pull.
Refusing to move is not a way for you to avoid the examination.
Hey, Raquel.
Just seeing the needle is enough to make him so panicked.
Hello? Oh, the vet?
Top words that every dog is wary of hearing.
Okay, I'm gonna take
the vet.
All right, let me take her. Come on, let's go to the vet shop. Okay, she's gonna get shots.
Weight is also an advantage when you are afraid to go to the vet.
Nope.
Oh, buddy, it's okay. Can someone tell me this is just a dream?
Hey. It's just a vet. They're just gonna check you. It's okay, buddy.
All dogs will become babies who need to be held when they go to the hospital.
Marina, drama queen. Oh my god! We've got to go see the doctor! Oh no, honey. Okay, all right.
When the owner said to take you out to play, but you ended up at the vet.
Okay, let me get my mask on. Oh my god, okay.
His quivering doesn't lie about veterinary fear. Do you like the vet? If the dog has 10 vibration levels, I think he must be on maximum. The eyes of someone who completely didn't understand what was going on.
Huh?
All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate you so very much. Hopefully I will see you guys here within a couple hours for our second show. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. For those of you I won't see, for those of you that I will see you soon, hopefully. Don't forget, guys, to love yourselves, love each other, and don't change a thing. You guys are the beautiful people. We will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.
Life's a journey, let's make every moment shine. Together we share, our hearts so intertwined. Each time you tune in, we're dancing in sync. With every story told, just let your soul think. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back, take a breath, leave your worries behind. This podcast is magic, a treasure you'll find. With every moment shared, we light up the way. Join us next time for more laughs and play. A little laughter, some love, we're flying high. As we wrap up this episode, it's not goodbye. News on the airwaves, spreading joy and cheer. Thanks for being with us, we'll see you right here. Kick back,